Attempted military coup? There are rumors in China about an attempted coup against Xi Jinping.
Now that's a plot twist, right? A black swan for the ugly duckling suddenly arrived from China. I want some action? Action? Yeah, that's easy. This wasn't just an attempted coup by Putin. It was an assassination attempt on Putin's master, Comrade Xi Jinping.
Supposedly, on January 18th, Generals Zhang Yuxia and Liu Zhengli tried to arrest him in a Beijing hotel. But the plan fell through, and it escalated to a shootout with the security guards.
Wild stuff. Friends, write in the comments what you think Putin felt at that moment when he found out that his Chinese breadwinner was almost killed. They practically feed each other by hand over there. Ugh, I just completely lost my appetite, and that actually rarely happens to me. Well, Putin understands. If even the Chinese went against their own red leader, then a truly violent bloodbath is about to happen in Moscow. And Putin is no Xi, he won't survive it.
Wait, so does that mean Vladimir Vladimirovich is afraid? A coup in the Kremlin is Putin's biggest fear, writes the Telegraph. Putin is afraid of losing control over the transfer of power.
Well, of course. Putin is simply terrified of being eliminated himself. By the way, the Kremlin has published Putin's official reaction to the events in Beijing. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And if we go back to Xi Jinping, this actually isn't the first assassination attempt on him. In fact, I've found some unique footage for you. The security around the Chinese grandpa, I have to say, is pretty mediocre. But jokes aside, this is a very serious topic. By 2026, the dictatorship has already exhausted many people, even in China.
In China, General Zhang Yuxia has been detained. WSJ reports he's accused of treason and leaking nuclear secrets to Washington. This is a shock. The general was the army's second most powerful and was untouchable.
Guys, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's take a closer, deeper look. This comrade's name is Zhang Yuxia. He is the deputy chairman of the Central Military Commission of the People's Republic of China, sort of like China's own Shoigu or, let's say, Gerasimov. He is Xi Jinping's closest ally, his right-hand man. He is a prominent representation of modern China and Xi's regime. But then, out of the blue, this unexpected event occurs.
China cracked from within. According to the WSJ, Xi Jinping's deputy allegedly leaked highly sensitive nuclear secrets to the US.
So what about this one? This comrade, or traitor, as he's already being called in China, is named Liu Zhengli. He's a general in the People's Liberation Army of China and, just for the record, a friend of Xi Jinping's family. But all that is in the past now.
Back during the Chinese Civil War, their fathers fought side by side. Furthermore, this man belonged to a kind of untouchable caste, as they were called in China, the so-called princes, and he carried that legacy.
Take a moment to just imagine. Military commanders of that high level, who are essentially communist officials, in what is still in many ways a Soviet-style China, are now being accused of espionage and treason. It's as if Putin were to accuse Shoigu or Gerasimov of the same thing in Russia. Naturally, Xi Jinping immediately begins a harsh purge of his military leadership. Since
October 2025, at least 9 generals have lost their positions. If Zhang Yuxia is officially removed, he will become the highest-ranking active military officer to be dismissed by Xi during his entire time in power.
There's a reason I said all this. The official accusations against the general of spying for the United States are just the tip of the iceberg. The thing is, Zhang Yuxia and Liu Zhengli were preparing a forceful overthrow of Xi Jinping. They wanted to arrest him. And not somewhere in a bunker, hello to Putin, but right in the center of the capital, in a government hotel.
The plan was bold. On the night of January 18th, they would carry out the operation at the Zhengxi Hotel, where Xi Jinping was to spend the night. Leaked info suggests Western intelligence agencies might also be involved.
Yes, everything was set up, but at the last moment, as it often does, something went wrong.
The operation fell apart literally 2 hours before it was supposed to start. Someone leaked it, and the information. Xi Jinping urgently left the building and ordered the conspirators to be detained.
Then, of course, only naive people would think that this is it, that the story is over.
By removing him, Xi Jinping eliminated the last figure capable of challenging him. The purge is complete, the power is absolute.
No, actually, this is just the beginning. Xi Jinping really did imprison his military leadership. I don't think we'll be seeing these generals anytime soon. But who said the Chinese army won't continue what they started? And it won't. So to speak, to cleanse the celestial empire of that same Comrade Xi. Perhaps they will find and support some more courageous local Prigozhin. Of their own. Who knows?
The Chinese elite is deeply terrified.
And now the most important thing. So, what is the point of this whole Chinese detective story? Can you even imagine how much Putin is triggered, as people like to say these days, by an assassination attempt on Xi Jinping? Triggered big time too. Putin is afraid. Here's what's happening in the Russian Federation right now.
A scenario similar to the Wagner PMC mutiny in 2023 became a long-term source of fear within the system. Western analysts emphasize that the lack of a successor increases the risks. If the regime starts to collapse, it could trigger an acute political crisis. And
you remember, right, friends? Putin, after all, is pathologically what? That's right, a coward.
A fearful coward and a timid coward.
Yes, this pathological Kremlin coward, above all, is afraid for his own ski. That's why he long ago handed over, gifted, you could say, his pseudo-empire to China. He just took it and gave it away.
Mr. Chairman, dear friend, it is indeed a truly great honor for myself and the distinguished members of our entire Russian delegation to be here. We are exceptionally glad to meet once again with all of our esteemed Chinese friends.
Oh, he really sucked up, didn't he? That is very well done. And Xi Jinping himself, as I will state once again, has already started recouping his losses.
We should certainly consider Chairman Leonid and his esteemed company to be exceptionally reliable friends and remarkably stable and dependable long-term partners.
These are the dedicated individuals and organizations who serve as our valued strategic partners, working closely alongside us to achieve our shared goals and long-term vision. That is why it is in the strategic interest of China to reclaim control over 7 million square kilometers of Russian territory in the Far East, which historically functioned as Chinese land. An article about this was published on December 14th on the Chinese media platform NetEase.
Well, that's a twist.
You know, a significant number of years ago, Boris Nemtsov, who was tragically killed near the Kremlin by the Kremlin itself, provided a very clear and straightforward explanation of exactly how China would, to put it mildly, exploit the nation of Russia and its nasty little puppy.
Putin again. Columns, you're settling in. He's a typical, Chinese spy, pure and simple. All his actions. Look, he demarcated the border, then pulled the troops back 200 miles into Russian territory. No one lives there. The leader gave away the Tarabarov and Bolshoi Ussuriysky territories of the islands to China. Did he give them away or not? He constantly holds exercises with the Chinese. Now he's giving away oil fields. He'll yield power of Siberia inevitably.
Boris Nemtsov really saw it coming? Seriously, that's exactly what's happening. Residents of Khabarovsk Krai were outraged at how Putin sold the taiga to China. The forests are now being destroyed on an industrial scale.
Observe the massive destruction of the Russian taiga. They've cut everything down, completely clearing the area.
Take a look at how people in Russia are already being forced to learn Chinese. And it's the police who are being taught Chinese. Who even needs English there? Oh, come on now, give me just a little bit of a break. Song. The system is successfully turned on. Right now. Well, basically Putin is really Xi Jinping's donkey. No, that wasn't me who said it, that was Lavrov. And coming from him, that phrase sounds especially authoritative. Do you get what I mean?
As they say in the East, the guest is the donkey, the host is the master. That's why. The whole program, of course, depends on those gracious proposals that the Chinese president and his team made to our president. And
now the puzzle pieces are coming together, right? Here is Putin, who has completely betrayed and sold out his Russia. Now in a state of genuine panic over the recent assassination attempt on his Chinese benefactor's life. I am not calling him a benefactor for nothing. I am repeating it for the second time.
And just yesterday, my good friend and representative from the PRC generously treated me to a delicious meal of Peking duck. Honestly, I will tell you, there are exactly 2 pieces left over right now. I thought I'd just eat 1 piece. You get what I mean, right? But I couldn't resist. I ate the second one too. You see, it was just too delicious.